Senior men's 1,500 meter finals up next on the track. It features, it's presented by the Government of Canada, and it features Jonathan Podbilski. Kieran Lum, defending champion. He'll be wearing hip 2, member of the Vancouver Thunderbirds team. Jude Wheeler-D will have hip 3. He's from Kingston Track and Field Club. Alec Purnell from Harbour Track in Hamilton, Ontario, will have hip 4. Max Davies from Royal City, hip 5. Foster Malik from Laurel Creek Track and Field Club, hip 6. Matthew Baudet from St. Laurent Select, hip 7. Emile Topan from Zenix de la Maritzi will have hip 8. Jean-Simon Degagné from the CAUL team will have hip 9. Simon Berube from Bison will have hip 10. Charles Philibert Thibodeau, another member of the CAUL team, will have hip 11. And Samuel Hepworth rounds out the field. He's from elite distance. He has hip 12.
Well, if you thought that women's race was exciting, buckle in, folks, because this is going to be thrilling as well. We've got our top 5 from last year returning, including our 3 medalists. Kieran Lum, who's also coming off a win in the 5,000 meter here earlier this weekend. Charles Philibert Thibodeau was silver last year. Foster Malik was 3rd. But we've got some fantastic additions to that field, particularly in the form of Max Davies. He's a younger standout, runs for Royal City, and he ran a 3:35:04 1500 earlier this season, and that broke a 33-year-old U23 Canadian record.
Don't know if we're going to see those kind of times here. This is a pretty slow opening 3.
Well, this is very pedestrian, and what's really cool about this is we have all these standout athletes. And not that they're not standouts, but we also have 2 athletes in the form of our leader, that's Samuel Hepworth, and Simon Berube, who's wearing hip 10, who came from qualifying to the prelims to make this final. And that's not a small feat. So about 1:08 on the clock through that opening lap. Look, they're 1 second faster than what the women ran in their opening 400 meters. So you're seeing some pushing there, and this is where the danger can happen. I think that you see Kieran Lum in the neon kit near the back. He's running really smart. He's running a further distance than the other athletes by basically being in the middle of lane 2, but he's keeping himself out of trouble, and the moment a break happens, he can cover every move.
Well, when do you expect we will see one of these athletes inject some pace into this?
Again, it's going to come down to placement. We have a couple of athletes who are on the bubble here to try to make the World Championships. So Kieran Lum and Charles Philibert Thibodeau are both in the world rankings quota, and they are absolutely looking to get on that team if possible.
Right now they sit 51st and 54th in the rankings respectively, and there will be a field of 56 in Tokyo.
And the World Athletics rankings are so significant, and a win at a national championships counts for enough points that it could make the difference between getting on the team and not. You're just 223 through 800. This is slower than most of these guys go out for an easy run at. So this is cagey, it's dangerous, and you think that someone's going to put in a big push at some point soon. You can just feel the anxiety and the nerves building throughout this field. That's Matthew Baudet on the inside. He was 4th here last year.
And that's Jude Wheeler-D on the outside, who's shoulder to shoulder with him now. Degagné tucked to the inside. Now here comes the push outside, and that is Kieran Lum, who decides now is the time to go. Davies going with them, Malik in the mix as well, as is Podbilski.
3:07 with a lap to go. That's exactly what we saw from our women's field, but it is absolutely strung out. This is 2 races in 1, and it is the defending champion, Kieran Lum, coming off of his win in the 5,000 meter, looking for a double. Charles Philibert Thibodeau stuck back in the pack. Max Davies, after a sensational season, is looking so comfortable at the front. And he is going to be joined in by Foster Malik, last year's bronze medalist. It's those three with some separation with 100 to go.
Davies makes the pass as they come out of the turn. He has a look back to see. He's pulling away. Max Davies, impressive. 2025 rolls along. He is the Canadian champion, and what a summer it has been for this young man.
Whoo! The Guelph Griffin has got to feel good about that. He's had adversity. He's been injured the last few seasons. He's worked hard to get back to full health. He's had big PBs recently in the 800 and the mile, as well as that 1500, and he ran such a well-timed race. Lum is a hard man to beat. And he was in the lead coming off that turn, but Davies has the luxury to do about 3, 4, 5 shoulder checks before throwing up the hand to come across the line victorious. And this has been a brilliant year for the Royal City standout. He closed his last lap in 50.27, and I'm going to have to look up some past data on fastest final laps at a Canadian Championships, but that has to be amongst them. Foster Malik, another really well-timed push by him, also closes in 50.8 to cross the line, the silver medalist in 58.88. And then Kieran Lum, last year's champion, bronze in 25.